everyone, this is the first of a series of videos that I'm putting together to show you around my craft studio. This is probably my most requested video and it's one that I've been meaning to do forever. I've had this craft studio now nearly 5 years and I've been meaning to do one pretty much since the beginning, but for various reasons I haven't done one to date, partly because I never felt it was kind of ready. There was always a job I wanted to do and I thought, oh, I'll do that before I do the video. And anyway, I'm finally here and I've just given it a spring clean, so I thought it would be a good time to get round to finally filming it. First of all, let me explain to you about my craft studio. This is a summer house at the end of our garden. We live in a Victorian terraced house, and before I had this, I was crafting in our back bedroom, which is tiny. And it was a nightmare because every time I went to make something, I had to move 100 things out of the way. And it really wasn't great. And of course, you know, at that point I was on various design teams. I was getting lots of products sent and it just really wasn't practical. There's no room in the house for me to have done my crafting anywhere else. So the only option was to look at either renting somewhere or doing something in the garden. And we had an old shed at the end of the garden. I'll show you a picture. And you can see from that picture it wasn't a great use. We've got a lovely long garden actually. We are quite lucky with our garden, and that was at the end of the garden. And the shed itself was not even watertight, so all that was in there was a lawnmower. And I felt that particular area would give me a really good craft room and we wouldn't be losing anything. We'd already bought another shed that was watertight because that one was beyond repair. So that space was kind of wasted space. So I took the opportunity to sort of earmark that for my area, and the first thing that needed to be done was to patio it. So that was done in the summer of 2014, I think, and we went on holiday expecting to come back and it all been done, but it wasn't, and we came back to absolute chaos. I'll show you a couple of pictures. The first picture is of the patio being built. And then the second picture shows you the lovely finished patio, but the mess that our garden was left in. So as you can imagine, I wasn't too popular with my other half. He was he was a bit traumatised, I think, by the whole experience, because we came back and literally our whole lawn was covered with all the rubble and mess. And I had to get another company in to just clear it all. So partly because of that and partly because it was the end of the summer and that had cost more than I anticipated as well, I decided to wait till the following summer to actually start work on the shed itself. So I spent that time in between planning what I was going to do, and you know, with the patio there it was easy to measure out, and I literally chalked on the patio exactly how much space I could use for my shed, whilst allowing room to sort of get round it and paint it and stuff. So it was really useful to have that time. So the following year, the shed company came along and installed it. It took 4 days in total. The first day they sort of built the shed. The second day my electrician came in, put in all these light fittings, the power sockets. Third day the shed guys came back in and put the panelling in once, you know, over the electrics. And then on the fourth day I had a guy come in and put vinyl floor down. So that was it then. And because I'd got that quite well planned and it all went smoothly, I was then ready to start moving everything in. I did nothing much to begin with apart from painted the whole thing white. I ordered the furniture. It's mostly Ikea. I already had the big cubby Kallax type unit that had been in the house, so I moved that in. I bought the kitchen island straight away and other bits and bobs. To begin with, I had scraps of furniture from the house actually, whilst I got all the Ikea furniture I wanted. So and now I'm at the point where I've filled it. I can't fit any more furniture in here now anyway. So whatever new supplies I get, I will have to sort of make this space work. So that's kind of an overview. Let's get on now and I'll show you around the room. So this is the outside of my craft studio. As you can see, I've got a really nice seating area just outside, and that's really useful because quite often when I'm taking photos, I can move my photography stuff out into the natural daylight, which is always better for getting good photos. So that's very useful having that there. Also, I can sit there with a cup of tea when I'm having a break, so it's very useful. So we'll pop inside and have a look around the rest of it. So this is the inside of my craft studio, and I'll just give you a quick overview in this video. I will do separate videos where I really go into detail as to what I've got stored where and how I store different things. But for this video, I just wanted to show you around the room really. I get most sort of questions whenever I post anything about my room or any photos. I do get lots of questions, so I thought I'll do a series of videos. This one is just going to be a very quick whiz round, just showing you sort of roughly what I've got in here. Then I'll break it down and I'll do a video on how I store my dies and stamps, how I store my papers, what's in all of those drawers. I will literally go through every drawer and show you, for those that want to see that much detail of what I've got where. But for this video, I'm just going to show you roughly around the room and explain a bit about my shed. So this is a summer house. It measures 12 by 12 foot. So it's quite a good size, and it's located at the end of our garden. You can see there's our normal garden shed with the lawnmower and stuff in. I've had this shed about 4 years now. So let's start with the area as you come through the door. I've got a metal unit there that's got all my ink pads in, and on the top there's my labelling machine. And this is kind of my computer working area. I've got a glass desk, which I've had for years. Actually, I bought secondhand many years ago. And this is where I've got sort of my stationery, my computer, as you can see, my planner. And then next to this is my printer and some stationery items. I tend to keep everything I might need while I'm working at the desk sort of close to hand. I've got an aircon unit there, which is invaluable because when it does get hot, it does get really stuffy in here. You know, it is basically a garden shed, so you can imagine it's a bit stuffy in the summer. So having an aircon unit means I can use this all year round. So that's my sort of computer area. Then moving round, I've got an Ikea. This is an old Ikea unit. So this is an Expedit, which has now been replaced with the Kallax. You can see I've got all my dies, stamps, lots of papers, magazines, etc. And on the top, I've got extra baskets for storage. As I mentioned, I will go into detail in another video of exactly what's in each of those cubbies. So moving around to the back of the room, I've got more storage in the corner there. That unit hasn't got anything in it yet because I haven't quite decided what to put in it, even though it has been on that wall since I first got this shed 4 years ago. At the back, I've got this worktop that pretty much goes the whole length of the back wall. It's really long. It's, you know, obviously nearly 12 foot long. So that's great storage. And I've got various things sort of to hand on the top there, as you can see, my marker storage. And underneath, let me just crouch down, there's a gap between the worktop and my drawer units. So I've filled that with A4 plastic boxes, and I can use that for various different cards and papers and things. Underneath, I've got 7 of the Alex units with the drawers, and 2 of the cupboard types. So at each end there's one of the bigger cupboards, and then in between I've got 7 of these that have all got 5 drawers each. So that's why I'm going to do a different video showing you what's in all those drawers, because otherwise this would go on for hours. So that's the back of the room. And moving round, then this side, these are a recent addition, these Ikea shelves. I wanted to have some of my prettier supplies kind of on display. So this really works well, and it's freed up some drawer space because my drawers were all getting a bit overflowing. So by moving all my paints and things up here, it's enabled me to reorganise my drawers a bit. Underneath that I've got my heater. It's on a thermostat, so that keeps this at a constant temperature in the winter, which is great. Then next to that I've got this little sideboard, and as you can see on the top there, that's kind of my photography area. And then here in the corner I've got all my Sizzix Big Shot machines. Actually, this isn't all of them because I have got some stored outside of here, but these are machines that I can grab if I need to when I'm working. And I've got lots of extra, I've got all my cutting pads and bits and bobs there, and my sidekicks. And then those two grey plastic baskets on top, I use those when I'm preparing for my TV shows. I sort of prepare my demo packs and things with everything I need, and I keep them in there so that I can just sort of pop stuff in there as I'm working, and it's out of the way and I won't forget it. And then lastly is my main work area. This is an Ikea kitchen island. It's got storage at the front, and again I'll go into detail of what's in there, but that's where all my big dies are. And then at the back, I do like to stand most of the time when I'm crafting, particularly if I'm stamping, but I have got a seat there, so if I'm doing colouring or anything where I want to sit, I can. And I've got kind of everything I need to hand on the top of here. I've got all my most used tools, and I've got my glue gun, heat tool, etc. And of course a Big Shot. And that's my Halo Light, which is invaluable when I'm filming videos and things. I'll just show you as well. This beam in the centre is quite useful because when I'm filming, I've got this attachment for my phone. I can bring this down, and it enables me to film my work area quite well. I'll do a separate video showing exactly how I do my videos and photography, etc. But that is an overview anyway of the room and how I've got it for now. I'm quite happy with the way it is at the moment, particularly now I've put that extra storage in. I do want to fill those up a bit more, but I'm being very choosy about what goes on there because it's on display, so I want it to look really nice. I hope that's given you a good overview. And as I said, there will be more detailed videos on what exactly, going into detail of what's in every drawer and what's in all of my different cubbies, etc. So check back if you really want to see more detail on this room. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.